As 2024 kicks off, there's plenty of co-op gaming goodness on the horizon. Whether it's AAA titles with a lot of hype out there, or smaller indie games that you may not have heard of, there is good reason for excitement. As a channel that's all about streaming group-centric gaming, we polled our stream team members for titles they personally had on their wish lists. So, here's 5 co-op games we're looking forward to this year, and ones you'll likely see us playing. But before we get to that, co-op gaming is what Static Group Live is all about, so if you like the games you see on this list, why not subscribe to the channel while you're here? Thanks in advance, and on with the video. Enshrouded has quite a bit of hype right now after its showing at Steam Next Fest, so it was no surprise when it got suggested for this list. Enshrouded is a co-op survival action RPG from Keen Games that's headed to early access on January 24th, 2024. When we played Valheim a couple years back on the channel here, we had a whole bunch of fun. We built houses together, we got lost together, and we slayed giant beasts together. Co-op survival games with a group of friends can be seriously challenging, but also truly hilarious. In Enshrouded, with up to 16 players on a server, that falls directly into the space between MMOs and Minecraft that Valheim absolutely nailed. Players can host their own dedicated server as well, which you'll certainly see us doing here. Enshrouded will also be playable solo and offline, but it's being specifically designed for co-op adventuring, which is music to our ears. For a deeper look at Enshrouded, check out this video by our friend Redbeard Flynn that he made about his experiences with the demo. And watch for Enshrouded coming soon to this very channel. The oft-delayed Skull and Bones from Ubisoft is on our radar for some high-seas shenanigans with the February 16th, 2024 release date. Skull and Bones is an open-world, seafaring combat co-op game where you become a pirate and rise from high-seas drifter to oceanic overlord. Players can gain infamy, which is the game's progression mechanic, by taking on contracts either solo or as a group of up to 3. While groups of 3 barely meets our definition of a group, we'll look the other way this time just so we can make pirate puns and drink rum on stream. Co-op in Skull and Bones is described as seamless, allowing friends to sail the seas and hunt down treasure and complete contracts together. As you might expect, enemy difficulty ramps up when you are a crew and not just a solo privateer, but the loot you learn will be more valuable and make that worth it. In fact, Skull and Bones doesn't have a campaign, rather relying on player-made fun. And that's what we do around here, so grab your eye patches and get ready to plunder with us in 2024. Nightingale, by Inflection Games, is another PvE open-world survival crafting game that's got our attention. Coming out in early access on February 22nd, 2024, Nightingale speaks to the group-centric player longing for that fantastical chimney sweep aesthetic. The setup sees us flung to a strange new realm, cut off by the collapse of the arcane portal network. The idea is to become a realm walker so you can find your way back to the city of Nightingale, the last known bastion of humanity. You can play solo, but we're here for the cooperative building, crafting, fighting, and exploring through old world holes in the sky. Nightingale is described as a PvE game, so we won't be shooting each other with sparkly umbrellas, rather we'll be teaming up to get back to the eponymous city. Nightingale will support between 6 and 10 players per server, which is either a really large group or a really small world, depending on how you look at it. For us, we'll be bringing the party horse and buggy to this one when Nightingale flies. And now for something completely different, we have Towerborn. Towerborn's a side-scroller beat-em-up style RPG from the devs that made the Banner Saga games. This one's got a great, unique look that is really impressive visually. Games like this are just made for co-op play. We played Dungeons of Mystara on the channel a few years back, and that was a really good time. Really, anytime we get to team up Golden Axe style with our friends and kick some ass is kind of hard to mess up. One of the innovations Towerborn is touting is a hex-based map that unlocks based on the missions completed, so it's a little less linear than your typical side-scroller. Co-op is 4-player, all PvE, just the way we like it. The bad news here is that there isn't a specific release date for Towerborn yet, other than sometime in 2024, so you might see us decimating Towerborn's mobs soon, or it might be a while yet. From side-scroller beat-em-up to top-down roguelike, Raven's Watch is another one that has piqued our interest as a 4-player co-op experience. Developed by Past Tech Games, this one has your character taking on roles and abilities inspired by classic fairy tales. New twists on old stories is always fun, and something we've shown on the channel previously when we played around with King Arthur: A Knight's Tale last year. In Raven's Watch, the setting here is within what they call the Reverie, and as one might expect, involves fighting back against some force that has it corrupted. It's not exactly an original idea, but we'll reserve judgment until we've had a chance to experience it for ourselves. Roguelikes have been a genre we've been playing more and more lately here at SGLive, having had great experiences with Myth Force and For the King 2 more recently. There's something addictive about the long-term progression, and the replayability meshes well with the co-op features. This one has been in early access for a while now, and it's slated for a third quarter release in 2024. So there you have it, some games you'll likely see us playing on the channel here at some point. Remember, if you jump into our Discord, we have LFG and voice channels, so you can start a static group of your own as well. And while you're here, leave a comment on your wishlist co-op games coming out this year. But until next time, cheers, and thanks for watching.